It's Henny Derby night in Richmond, and the River City is buzzing once again for a match that always brings high stakes. It's the Richmond Kickers looking to continue their promising start to the 2025 campaign against a Madison squad still looking to find its footing. Tonight's match is presented by UCrops. We say hello and welcome, Sam Goldfarb here bringing you all of the action as we get a look back at last year's Henny Derby. Richmond winning the season series courtesy of this 2-1 victory at City Stadium. Terzaghi opening the scoring in the 90th minute. Juan Galindrez equalizing with his terrific flick-on header. We thought maybe we're destined for a draw, but Chandler O'Dwyer and the Richmond Kickers with other ideas. The very last kick of the match, the 101st minute. Chandler O'Dwyer scoring the winner with a towering header, and Richmond capturing the Henny Derby trophy for the first time in 2 years' time. Well, this kicker side also has been dynamic going forward, and Chandler O'Dwyer, our player to watch, presented by Wayaki Yarbamate. He scored in the opener against Tormenta, and then the equalizer against AV Alta last weekend. 2 goals to his name through 3 league matches already for the dynamic center midfielder. Well, our player to watch for forward Madison is the starting keeper tonight. Wallace Lapsley making his 3rd consecutive start in all comps to open the year with Burton Shipman out. He is going through some ups and downs. Tonight, he will have to be on his game against a Richmond side that has threatened the opposing goal over the course of this young campaign. Keep your eye on the reigning USL League One champion between the sticks. We are just about set for kickoff here at City Stadium. It is Pups at the pitch night in addition to the Henny Derby. The 17th Henny Derby gets started in a matter of moments here from Richmond. Stick with us on ESPN+.
Asia, your car's small.
It's a little cramped, but it's fine.
Fine? When you became MVP once, was that fine? No, you did it twice.
They built you a statue.
But you're fine with this tiny car when you could just sell it to CarMax?
You're right. It's not fine.
I can't feel my legs.
Never settle on the lot or on the court. CarMax.
We choose Impossible Pups because of their enrichment activities and the fun photos they send home every day.
We choose Impossible Pups because Kendall is excited when I drop her off and she's excited when I pick her up.
My favorite part about working at Impossible Pups is that the staff here feels like family.
Is seeing new dogs come in and build long-lasting confidence.
At Impossible Pups, your dog isn't just staying at a kennel, they're staying at their home away from home.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brings.
We welcome you back to City Stadium for the 17th Henny Derby meeting between Richmond and Madison. Tonight's match presented by UCrops. It's now time to take a look at our starting lineups presented by Ortho Virginia. Starting with Richmond, identical 11 for Darren Sawatsky's bunch compared to last week, which was a 3-1 victory over AV Alta. Keep your eye on Emiliano Terzaghi, the all-time leading goal scorer who scored a brace in the second half, including a stunner from midfield, which wound up being Richmond's match-winning tally. Duluth late. We are just about set for kickoff at City Stadium. You see forward Madison in their classic pink kits. They are known for the best kits in the league. Tonight, no different. Richmond in their usual red. Well, last season, Richmond recapturing the Henny Derby trophy for the first time since 2021. They had a hard go of it in 2023 after being swept in that series. After drawing the first meeting up in Madison, they win 2-1 in the aforementioned thriller we told you about earlier in the broadcast. It will be Madison to get us underway. Aiden Macias to kick things off, with Madison going right to left on your screen. Richmond will be going left to right. We get the referee signal and underway here from City Stadium. The 17th Henny Derby and the first of 3 meetings this year in Richmond. We welcome you back in. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action tonight. This is a historic rivalry, one that dates back to the first season of USL League One football. And it is one where the fan bases get very engaged. We'll get into all of the story behind the origins, and of course the goals of the Henny Derby as the match progresses here tonight. Well, it is now time for our keys to the match, presented by CarMax, for Richmond capitalizing on set pieces. I think that goes without saying after the way they won last July. Meanwhile, for Madison, final third incision key. They dominated possession in their lone league match against Naples. In fact, had almost 75% of the ball, but did not turn it into any major chances of note and wound up falling 2-0 in their league opener. Well, now time for our injury report presented by Bon Secours. None reported for Richmond kickers. Adrian Graffin, the only man listed out for Madison, though we do know that Burton Shipman will not feature tonight. Not a member of the squad. Wallace Lapsley getting the nod between the sticks for the 3rd consecutive match. Well, there's your look at Darren Sawatsky, and talking to him this week, he raved about the character of his side. Fell behind 1-0 against AV Alta on a brutal mistake by James Sneddon, but managed to claw one back before intermission, and then in the second half, it became the Emiliano Terzaghi show. Sawatsky, in his 6th season at the helm of this Richmond kicker squad, has guided them to a regular season title back in 2022. Here's Derek Gebhardt, the longest tenured Forward Madison player on the roster. It's a low cross in towards McLaughlin and darted away out of danger. Lost in the shuffle of all of this, all of the hoopla surrounding this derby, we have the 2 all-time leading goal scorers in USL League One on opposite ends of the pitch. McLaughlin up front for Madison. He joined Forward Madison midway through last season, and we all know about Terzaghi and his heroics. 60 goals is the most in the league history by a large margin, as Matt Buildup is sent clattering to the deck. Here's Boyce, his first touch came off the bench in the Open Cup victory over Duluth FC on March 20th. Forward Madison still getting healthy, dealt with a number of preseason injuries, the likes of Osmond, and of course Shipman not in the squad, and Boyce was not a member of the 18 in the last league match 2 weeks ago, as the offside flag is raised against the 34-year-old Faraday Sosa. There's Matt Glazer, 4th year at the helm of this Forward Madison squad, and has guided them back into perennial postseason status. hadn't reached the postseason since their inaugural season at the time of his appointment in 2022. Took them back to the playoffs a year later, and then last season, their best finish in a League One table in club history. Finished third before falling in heartbreaking fashion to Spokane Velocity on penalties in the USL League One semifinals. When talking to Matt Glazer, though, he says, we haven't really dwelled on last season much. We talked about it in our exit interviews, but now it's about moving forward. We can't worry about unfinished business. It's more about getting this team to play the way I want them to play and defining our principles over the course of these first couple months of the campaign. He says he feels it might take a little more time than he initially anticipated, given that the personnel still remains in flux, but he still has plenty of faith in their ultimate ability to accomplish silverware this season. Here's Sosa. A long ball from Timmy Mail, and no issues for James Sneddon. 19 years of age, Richmond Kickers starting goalkeeper, established himself between the sticks at the tail end of last year and has hardly put a foot wrong, despite last week, which was uncharacteristic by his standards, and made a few quality saves to make up for that earlier mistake. He is the undisputed #1 for Darren Sawatsky's bunch. Here's Fitch. Always a bundle of energy surging forward. Buildup. And Richmond will have a corner on its hands. Well, Maxi Schenfeld has a knack for quality deliveries from these scenarios. We saw it last week on the precipice of intermission when he assisted O'Dwyer's equalizer. The Richmond fullbacks not shy about bombing forward, and Schenfeld is the prime example. What can he conjure at his first crack at the apple? Heart of the area again. It falls for Terzaghi. May have taken a deflection. And instead, we will run it back from the same exact spot. Schenfeld put it in a virtually identical spot to where O'Dwyer met it a week ago. Attempt 2 from Schenfeld. He took it before the whistle. And will third time be the charm? Our lead official, Denny Kulasinak, will likely have a busy affair on his hands. It is a derby where both sets of players understand the stakes and desperately desire victory. Schenfeld, and this does not clear the first man. Another ball in. It's cleared only as far as Darwin Espinal, the signing out of Nisa with Maryland Bobcats. And ultimately comes to nothing. Well, the first delivery was by far the best. You see it pins Lapsley on his line. He was trying to pick out O'Dwyer and just narrowly missed him. Terzaghi's follow-up effort deflected. An early warning shot, though, from Schenfeld and company. Frankly, hard to believe that one of those 3 occasions didn't properly trouble Lapsley. Fans, the USL on CBS kicks off on April 6th with 2 former USL Championship title winners battling it out. Join us Sunday, April 6th as undefeated San Antonio FC takes on Western Conference rival Phoenix Rising at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. We're about 10 minutes in to the first of 3 Henny Derby matches on the calendar this year. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action from City Stadium It is still no score between Richmond Kickers and Forward Madison. The Richmond side with 6 points of an available 9 through their first 3 matches. Madison in just its second league match, hunting its first result of the season in league play. Here is buildup breaking forward. It's drawn Krull out. And still buildup. Cross towards the byline, and Lapsley claiming with authority. Well, he didn't get a lot of playing time at Union Omaha a season ago, but still a USL League One champion in his own right. And you see buildup, this is masterful, outwits Krull. Plays this cross a bit too tight on Lapsley, who beats Terzaghi by footsteps, but made 7 appearances for Omaha last year, was the top goalkeeper in the Jägermeister Cup throughout the group stage. And Dom Casciato, his coach at the time, raved about him. Matt Glazer says he's still settling in, has been through his ups and downs, but is quality, and he has faith in his ability to carry Madison through this stretch without their number 1 in Bernd Shipman, who is still working his way back into fitness. Krull was hunting the run of McLaughlin. And this is Devin Boyce, always dangerous on the ball. Boyce's ball in, it's a decent one. Falls for Nico Brown. Krull's cross. Ultimately avoids everyone in pink. Well, there is your look at one of the best supporters bases in all of USL League One, the River City Red Army in full force tonight for the 2025 Henny Derby, the first edition. This is one of the best fan bases in the entire league, and they come out every week, but for matches like this, it is a different animal. There's not an empty seat in that fan section tonight. Seufert, an addition out of Germany, who has played in the Bundesliga and second Bundesliga. Fitch. High arcing ball towards Espinal. It does find him. He's looking for Terzaghi, but not enough on it. Schenfeld. Only as far as Seufert. Important to note for those just jumping back into USL League One, it is Niels Seufert, the new signing from Germany. Not Neil Vinyals, the former center midfielder for Richmond, who's moved to Spokane this offseason. Both donning the number 10, but Niels Seufert is the new number 10 for Richmond this year. Sneddon under fire. We approach the quarter-of-an-hour threshold in this first of 3 Henny Derbies this year. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action tonight. Richmond and Madison, a tale as old as time. It dates back all the way to the first ever meeting between these two clubs. And the atmosphere continues to improve with each passing year, as Lapsley has issues corralling this, and Richmond has another corner on its hands. It's a Richmond side that won its first Henny Derby series last year since 2021. Madison claimed back-to-back in 2022 and 2023. Richmond winning just one match in that span, including none in the 2023 season. What a rebound it was last year for a Richmond squad that finished below Madison in the table, but has bragging rights over their rival. Will be Seufert to deliver this corner. Within swing. Now Buildup. Garnett. Up from center back here. Schenfeld in space, a low driver, and just whistles wide. Had Lapsley scrambling at least. Excellent side-to-side action from Richmond. Richmond starting to establish a possessional foothold in this. First 5 minutes or so, you saw Madison really pushing on. They've sat off and absorbed pressure more recently. This is a side that has overwhelmingly dominated its opponents in possession open the year. Here's Brown, and this is Gebhard. Perhaps being a bit more cautious here tonight, especially given Richmond's ability on the counterattack, or at least the budding ability it's shown to open this year. Midfield goal notwithstanding last week. Seufert. Schenfeld tucking inside now. Still appears to be a slight feeling out process to open this. Neither side wanting to give too much away. Matt Glazer lamented against Naples the way they threw away chances, as O'Dwyer is brought down on the edge of the area, and this is well within Seufert range. Well, Chandler O'Dwyer already making his impact felt. This is a very errant back pass, and fortunately Madison's able to recover, but not before Kroll concedes this set piece. See O'Dwyer wrong side of Kroll. It's a cynical tackle, but it's one that at least prevents a 1v1, and it sets up O'Dwyer and Seufert in a very appetizing spot. This would appear to favor Seufert on the right. O'Dwyer to take. It's right into the wall, and that's probably why it favored the right-footed man. But only as far as Fitch. Seufert. Very promising start for Richmond so far. O'Dwyer. Well, for all the early possession, though, Wallace Lapsley's had a relatively pleasant go of it so far. It's been called into action with one punch. Other than that, though, not much coming his way between the sticks in his first taste of the Henny Derby. Has still played in some high-pressure environments. He's 27 years of age and played for Tacoma Defiance in MLS Next Pro 2 years before joining USL League One a season ago. Played some high-pressure minutes with Tacoma as well. This is a brilliant ball from Terzaghi. Buildup, low cross, another corner on the way. On 20 minutes, kickers continue to twist the screws. Maxi Schenfeld is starting to get target practice from this near side. And if you know anything about his in-swinging left foot deliveries, that's the last thing you would like to see as an opposing side at City Stadium. Perhaps more for Lapsley to deal with. In-swinger, heart of the area, off the post. Terzaghi got his head to it. And he clearly had Lapsley beaten. Emiliano Terzaghi is playing with a different level of confidence after his second half brace a week ago. He eliminated memories of his missed penalty very quickly in that AV Alta match. Scored what might wind up being in contention for goal of the year from midfield in the 51st minute, and then laid on, polished it off with a classic poacher's goal. Terzaghi scored many of those in his time off rebounds. Already getting into some dangerous spots tonight. This is headed along for Boyce. Clever interplay here. McLaughlin! Excellent stop from Sneddon at his near post. James Sneddon passes his first test with flying colors, and the Red Army love it. Well, for one, brilliant first-time ball from Devin Boyce to McLaughlin. It is a tight angle. He just hits it hard for power. Sneddon does what he's supposed to. Two palms, out of play for security. Sets up Jackson Dietrich with forward Madison's first corner of the match. Right in front of the Red Army. Toward the near post, and Kroll heading it out of play. It's not a bad delivery from Dietrich by any means. He doesn't give Kroll much of an angle to work with, though. And is unable to get that one to dip, as we have another corner in the near future for the Mingos. It'll be Devin Boyce roaming over. This is a reigning all-league first-teamer from a year ago. They missed him clearly 2 weeks ago against Naples. Return with a trio of assists in the Open Cup last week. Boyce within swing. Dwyer is first to it. Brown is sent tumbling by Buildup. The Lexington Loney beginning to make his presence felt. It's Dietrich and Boyce standing over this. Boyce to deliver, a dangerous ball in. Not only as far as Aiden Macias, and Sneddon can collect. Well, believe it or not, this is his first taste of Henny Derby action. Just 19 years old. He didn't take over the starting job until around the final 2 months of last season. Pablo Jara was starting the last meeting in July. The ball is overcooked for Espinal. Well, that's Elliot Barr, one of the leaders of the River City Red Army. He was named Supporter of the Year by the Richmond Kickers in 2021. And he is one of the founders of the Henny Derby, as you see Mr. Henny Derby written on his shirt. Himself and Kyle Carr, a leader of Featherstone Flamingos, which is an all-inclusive black-led supporters group for Forward Madison, started the Henny Derby back in 2019. Ahead of the first meeting, the two got to talking on social media, and they decided to wager a bottle of Hennessy on the match. Now, Richmond won that match, so Kyle had to send Elliot a bottle of Hennessy in the mail, and thus a tradition was born. A couple matches later, at the end of the 2019 season, the rivalry took off. Elliot was asked by the Richmond Kickers front office to help organize a community night, and he decided to make it a heritage night, celebrating black supporters of the beautiful game and of the Richmond Kickers. And not only did he invite Madison supporters to make the trip down from Madison, he also reached out to black-led supporters groups across the country: North Carolina, New York, Chicago, Boston. You name a city, he probably reached out. And fans flocked to that third match. There was a trophy made, and it took off from there. It went viral. Pablo Maurer from the Total Soccer Show was in attendance, and it's taken on a life of its own since. But it also goes beyond just a camaraderie-based interaction between these fan bases and a friendly rivalry. It also is meant to spur community initiatives for the local Richmond and Madison areas, and generally is meant to provide a safe space for black supporters from across the country to flock to this match and celebrate their culture in the Henny Derby on an annual basis. Of course, both Richmond and Madison raising money for local organizations to benefit communities throughout those two cities. And major credit to Kyle and Elliot, who kick-started the whole thing with a friendly bet. When you talk to Kyle and Elliot, they mention it's not acrimonious at all between the two fan bases. This goes beyond the 3 points on the pitch, although both sides certainly want to win. This is a match that provides an opportunity for fans to celebrate black culture in soccer and American soccer culture in general, and it is one of the most organically spawned derbies on the American soccer calendar. And you see the full packed environment at City Stadium, Madison fans making the drive down. You see all the Richmond fans as well. And Elliot Barr is one of the men who started the entire thing. Just shy of the 30-minute threshold here in Madison. The Richmond Kickers and Forward Madison in the first of 3 Henny Derby matches this year. Still no score between Richmond and Madison. Terzaghi with the best chance, knotted it off the far post. Boyce tucking it forward towards Gebhard. Cella is first to it. A loose touch from buildup, though. Gebhardt. And Espinal is sent tumbling. Sosa. Boyce. How far? We've begun to reach a bit of a lull in this match. We mentioned the air of caginess. There is slightly more margin for error for these two squads compared to last year. Of course, just 2 meetings, Richmond and Madison drawing the first one in scoreless, 2-2 fashion last April before the 2-1 victory by Richmond in July of last year. But you lose the first Henny Derby meeting and you put yourself definitely on the back foot with very little wiggle room. As far as Richmond is concerned, you lose tonight, your quest to retain the trophy becomes a bit more difficult, despite playing 2 of the 3 matches at home. This is a fixture that always delivers. All but 1 of the previous 16 matches decided by a goal or less. It's Boyce and Dietrich once again standing over this. Do we have a plot twist before intermission? Dietrich, out-swinging ball, and that does not reach Aiden Macias, who commits the transgression after the fact. Michael Chilaka was the man penalized. Former mainstay in Israeli football, who's in his 2nd League One campaign. Full volume from the Red Army. Drums out in full force. It was a fantastic atmosphere last week against AV Alta. But when you look around the stands tonight, it is a different level of engagement from both supporters. As Terzaghi races forward, he knows this is offside and goes out of play instead for a Richmond corner. It's Seufert to take. 28-year-old German. Marked his debut with a goal and an assist in the victory over Tormenta on March 7th. Near post, it was headed on by Cella. Not able to keep it down, though. Cella scored some big goals in his short time with Richmond. He does get here on the near post, but that's an impossibly tight angle. Well, Cella joined from the Kosovan top flight around the tail end of last season. And how did he mark his arrival to the Richmond faithful? How about a 72nd minute tally to propel them into the postseason in the penultimate home match against Chattanooga. That was a dramatic back and forth affair. Has been a key feature in the lineup since, as the offside flag is raised against Matt Buildup in his second stint with Richmond. Into the business end of this first half in the 17th Henny Derby. It is still scoreless between Richmond and Madison. Had a number of quality half chances and chances early on, but the last 10-15 minutes or so, this one has tightened up. You wonder if it's a product of neither side wanting to make that catastrophic error before intermission, knowing that so many of these matches have been decided in 1-0 fashion in the past. It's not the highest scoring fixture around this one. It is an exciting one, no doubt, though. Sorry for it. It's a loose ball that's read by Kroll. Faraday Sosa, former Sacramento Republic man. Boyce. This appears to be a prolonged stoppage as Boyce nurses himself back to full fitness. Dietrich, joined after 3 years with Northern Colorado Hailstorm, was a key feature in that midfield. But when you look at the Madison lineup tonight, it appears quite pragmatic for Matt Glazer. We talked about it earlier. The only creative midfielder in the 11 tonight, with the exception of maybe Gebhard, is Devin Boyce. The likes of Macias and Dietrich, more known for their deeper lying abilities. And of course, the 5-back definitely aids their solidity defensively. Although Brown has floated forward on a number of occasions tonight. Here he is again. Madison will win a corner, just their second of the match. It's Boyce to take. Chilaka and Chella receiving instructions from our lead official. There's been some hand fighting in the box both ways tonight. Those two not shy about surging forward on corners. Denny Kulashanak has some tension to attend to. Boyce within swing. Back post. Drew Sneddon off his line. Still loose. It's in front. McLaughlin. Gebhard over the line. Madison snatching an advantage before the break, and it's Derek Gebhard striking for the Mingos. Perhaps slightly against the grain. I don't think the traveling fans will care. Madison 1, Richmond 0. It's an industrious goal, to say the least. You see it just get played back in. McLaughlin got a touch to it. And then finally it falls loose. All Gebhard has to do is drive it past the oncoming convoy of kickers. And he will open his account for 2025 in the Henny Derby. 2 attempts for McLaughlin. Gebhard barred down. 1-0 Madison. It's not the prettiest of goals, but nothing comes easy in the Henny Derby, and Derek Gebhard knows that better than most. His first of the season comes in the 40th minute, follows a year in which he posted 6 goals in all competitions as one of the top creative talents for this Forward Madison squad. And in year 5 with Forward Madison, strikes in the Henny Derby on the precipice of intermission. Tough break for Richmond, a side that has spent the bulk of the match on the front foot. Buildup calls Chilaka in for support. Fitch. And violation against the kickers on their long throw. So far, so good for Mr. Lapsley. Called upon sporadically so far for the Mingos, but has passed every test his way. Credit to Forward Madison's back line as well. Under pressure for large spells of this first half, but not showing any signs of cracking other than the one Terzaghi chance that clattered off the post. It's been Richmond's only major opportunity of note in this first half for all of their promise in possession. High ball in towards the goal scorer Gebhard, and this time Sneddon is first to it. Terzaghi in space. He's sent to the deck, and Boyce rightfully penalized and also likely rightfully shown the yellow. First man in the book for either side, and it is Devin Boyce who's cautioned. It's a cynical challenge. Nothing much in it. Just shoves Terzaghi to the deck and receives his yellow card without much appeal. One more set piece before intermission. This from quite the angle. It's Seufert, the lone man in the immediate vicinity. Seufert goes for goal and couldn't keep it down. No test for Lapsley there. into the final minute of the initial 45. Right now, Forward Madison, a 1-0 lead, mildly against the grain, courtesy of Derek Gebhardt's 40th minute tap in from a corner. Although it was more of a race to the goal mouth that he won. Just able to knock it off the underside of the crossbar to give Madison a 1-0 lead on the ensuing second ball following the initial corner. Well, the fourth official indicating 2 minutes of stoppage time presented by Waiaki Yerba Mate. As Soifert's ball forward finds the gloves of Lapsley. Madison appears content to escort this one to the break. This is a side that led the league in clean sheets a season ago with 11. I do not believe they'll be taking many risks going forward in the second 45 unless they concede. It's a back line that is nearly whole with the exception of their captain, Mitch Osmond, who has missed the first 3 matches of the year with a preseason knock. And Schenfeld, fouled by Boyce, who already is on a yellow and must be careful from here on out. It's a dilemma for Matt Glazer, his top creative player. Also, still appears up for a 50-50 coming together. Schenfeld. Splits 2. Perhaps the final sojourn forward for Richmond. O'Dwyer, Soifert. Fitch in space, high arcing ball in, nearly ran through to Schenfeld. Soifert again. Garnett. Buildup. And one final free kick before we reach intermission. Effectively a makeshift corner at this stage. Schenfeld will get one more bite at the apple before the halftime whistle sounds. We are beyond the 2 minutes of added time presented by Waiaki Yerba Mate. High ball to the back post. It is beyond Barnathan, and that is where we leave things after 45 minutes. A 1-0 cushion for Forward Madison at halftime of the 17th Henny Derby. It's that man, Derek Gebhardt, opening the scoring in the 40th minute, which has Madison clinging to a narrow lead despite being on the back foot for large spells of the opening 20-plus minutes. Well, at halftime, the scoreline is 1-0 to Forward Madison. Richmond with work to do if it hopes to continue its promising start to 2025 at home. Madison hunting its first victory of the league season. Halftime presented by Simplicity VOIP. The show will come when we return here on ESPN+. That's Elliot Barr. 1-9!
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We welcome you back to City Stadium, where at halftime the scoreline of the 17th Henny Derby is Madison 1, Richmond 0. The halftime show presented by Simplicity VOIP. Well, it's time to take a look around USL League One, and let's flash back to Week 3, and look at some of the standout performers. Here's your team of the week. 3 Richmond kickers cracked the 11, including Emiliano Terzaghi, whose second half brace powered them to victory over AB Alta. Also, Maxi Schenfeld, a crucial assist on O'Dwyer's equalizer in the late stages of the first half. You'll notice on the bench as well, Neil Sweifert is there, but he did not quite crack the 11 for Richmond kickers. Well, now it's time to take a look at the standout plays of the week, starting with our goal of the week in USL League One. It comes via Mark Doyle of One Knoxville.
Here's a chance for One Knoxville. The flag will stay down. 1-on-1 and no mistake made. Mark Doyle opens the scoring. It's a big throw. Chavez at the front post will fall on the volley to McManus. Try to get it back in. Chavez stopped. A reactionary volley that Johan Garibay was equal to.
A lot of One Knoxville representation in those standout moments. Well, at halftime here of the Henny Derby, Madison leads 1-0 against their arch rival Richmond kickers. We will step aside on the Simplicity VOIP halftime show and take another look around League One when we return. Stick with us.
And it's a tremendous finish! San Antonio FC! Unreal! And Phoenix rising!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Right up to the middle, a shot! While still going, he shoots! And for a cross!
Long shot from range! Unstoppable strike!
welcome you back to City Stadium. It is also Pups at the Pitch night. The Dogs out in full force enjoying the action at City Stadium. And at halftime, on the halftime shows presented by Simplicity VOIP, Madison leads Richmond 1-0. Well, now it's time to take a look around USL and USL League One in particular with our news and notes section. 25 current USL Championship or League One players called up to their respective national teams on international duty as this league becomes a more international stage. In addition, Expansion Group in Boise, Idaho breaking ground on the 6,000-person stadium, which will open next season, USL Boise, as the leagues continue to expand. And finally, the big one, USL announcing a super majority of clubs approving Pro-Rel, trying to implement it around 2027 or 2028. All of the clubs signed on and appear locked in and ready to go for what should be an exciting development in the American soccer pyramid. Well, coming up here in USL League One, a bevy of standout matches. Starting on Saturday, you see FC Naples hosting Portland Hearts of Pine, two expansion clubs locking horns. Also Texoma in the nightcap tonight hosting Westchester SC, another match of expansion clubs. Good to see all of the expansion clubs locking horns. And I tell you what, I'm very curious to see how Portland looks tonight. Bobby Murphy, very accomplished in the St. Louis ranks. Let's see how he translates it as the head man at Portland Hearts of Pine, playing their inaugural league match. So that is your look at the upcoming schedule here in Week 4 of USL League One. When we return to look back at the standout moments from the first half here at City Stadium. At halftime, it is Madison 1, Richmond 0. When we come back, a look back at the opening 45 minutes.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Hey, I'm Watha. Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with a provider today.
Back here at halftime at City Stadium, where the scoreline of the 17 Penny Derby after 45 minutes is Madison 1, Richmond 0. Our halftime show presented by Simplicity VOIP. It is now time to take a look back at our standout moments from the opening 45 minutes, and you'll see a lot of Richmond highlights early. Starting in the 21st minute, Richmond twisting the screws on corner kicks. This in-swinging ball, Terzaghi gets his head to it, kisses it off the inside of the post, but unable to coax it over the goal line. That was Richmond's best chance of the match, unable to capitalize. But then a minute later, Madison the other direction. McLaughlin linking up with Boyce, Sneddon denying him at the near post. An excellent stop by the 19-year-old who passes his first test. Then in the 34th minute, Richmond continuing to cause problems on set pieces. Clydicella gets his head to this, but his flick on doesn't stay down. Richmond had a number of quality chances off set pieces, but the only set piece that yielded a goal came in the 40th. On a second ball in, McLaughlin two bites at it, falls for Derek Gebhardt, who's able to just bash it far down to give Madison a 1-0 lead, slightly against the grain of play at that point, although it's been a relatively even back and forth affair. That is Gebhardt's first of the year. As you get your look at the halftime stats and the numbers, more even than you would have expected if you would watch just the opening 20 minutes. Madison, the only team with shots on target. Richmond has yet to put one of their 7 on frame, but they do have a 60-40 possession edge against one of the top possession sides in USL League One. That's largely fueled by their very fast start. But the story is not capitalizing on that possession and turning that into clear-cut chances. Madison, on the other hand, forcing one over the goal line. Derek Gebhardt bashing the door down on 40 minutes to give the Mingos a halftime advantage. So that is your look at the bigger picture. In the first half, a relatively clean affair as well. Just one yellow card issue came to Devin Boyce in the late stages of that first half. We're just about set to get things back underway. It is a packed City Stadium, as it tends to be every time the Henny Derby rolls around. It is the first of 3 legs of this year's Henny Derby. How about this, the traveling support? You see a Forward Madison sign out there. Madison fans flock to Richmond for this matchup. They drive down, they've been doing it since 2019, and they have not disappointed here tonight either. It's one of the more passionate fan bases in Madison as well. When you link these two clubs up, you get magic, and that's what we're seeing here so far tonight. As Emiliano Terzaghi and company are hoping some of that possession can turn into clear-cut chances. It's that man, number 32 on your screen, who had the only clear-cut chance of the first half for the Kickers. It was his flick-on header that went off the inside of the post. On the other end, Forward Madison's substitutes continue to warm up. We have not seen anything from Jose Carrera Garcia yet. He's a former all-league midfielder who is occupying a spot on Madison's bench tonight. We wonder if number 21 will make his appearance known. Darren Sawatsky and company with work to do. He's spoken about how much he loves the character of this side. It was on full display last weekend in the come-from-behind 3-1 victory over AV Alta. But in matches like this, there's an added layer of stress involved. Richmond hoping to avoid losing a home match in the Henny Derby for the first time since 2023. Meanwhile, Derek Gebhardt is the man in line to produce the 3 points for Forward Madison, although they have plenty of work to do if they hope to escort themselves over the line. Derek Gebhardt has been a problem for Richmond in the past. A couple years back, he scored 2 goals in 3 Henny Derby meetings. It's his first goal since. We're just about set to get things back underway. You see Richmond now flipping the script, going from right to left. Forward Madison, their pink kits with the always unique design, going left to right. O'Dwyer will get us back underway on our lead official, Denny Kulasanag signal. The question is, does Richmond have a response against the obdurate defenses of Forward Madison, a side that rarely conceded a year ago? They will need to produce a goal in order to salvage a result at home in the first leg of this year's Henny Derby. Back underway here from City Stadium. A very intriguing 45 minutes away. Here's Espinal. Laying it off for Terzaghi. And now has a pop. Took an awkward deflection. Goes out for what should be a Richmond corner. Well, Sam Goldfarb welcoming you back in to City Stadium. And Richmond, all business since the restart. Darwin Espinal just weaving through a sea of pink. And ultimately, it's the follow-up effort that is just deflected wide. Sets up Maxi Schenfeld for an in-swinger right in front of the Red Army. Decent ball in. Doesn't quite clear the first convoy of Madison defenders. Now the second ball flicked on. Terzaghi once again getting a touch to it. No trouble for Lapsley, though. This is a very promising start to the second half for Richmond. 2 major chances. Good header from Terzaghi given his positioning. And ultimately right into the waiting arms of Lapsley. Well, if you are just joining us, we welcome you into Richmond. This is the second half of the first Henny Derby matchup of the year. Derek Gebhardt's 40th minute tally makes the difference at this current moment. O'Dwyer. Terzaghi. Macias reading the return ball to perfection. It was a busy first half for Jake Kroll, playing his usual outside center back role. Called into action on a number of occasions. Here's the goal scorer, Gebhard. One-on-one! Gebhard with a second! Catching Richmond out! It's 2-0 Madison! What a turn of events this is! A Richmond side that opened on the front foot, caught on the break, and it's a brace from Derek Gebhard, which has Madison on the precipice of a huge 3 points away from home. You see this just get played through. Gebhard has everyone beaten for pace. Tight angle finish, nestling it in the bottom right corner. And Madison with a 2-0 cushion away from home. It's an expert finish from Gebhard. First time he's backed a brace against Richmond. And what a time for it. Well, the first goal was more effort. This is more technique. The 29-year-old Derek Gebhard, a native of Blue Hill, Maine. In year 5 with forward Madison coming back to haunt Richmond once again. Yellow card is given to Faraday Sosa for his celebration after the fact. I think it's a worthwhile trade, though, if you're Matt Glazer. A Madison side that struggled to break down Naples away from home 2 weeks ago has unlocked Richmond twice, this time out of open play. Derek Gebhard, the beneficiary on both occasions. That's especially backbreaking if you're a Richmond supporter, because the first 2.5 minutes of the second half were filled with massive runs forward, but the defense switches off. Madison unlocking them on the counter. Derek Gebhard bagging his second of the night here in the Henny Derby. Does Espinal have a response? It is still Darwin Espinal! What a finish that is! Richmond right back in it! The 30-year-old with a sensational strike. It's 2-1. Are you having fun yet? Espinal, the former Golden Boot winner in the NISA ranks with Maryland Bobcats. A curler that is a sensational sight for the cameras, with plenty of ferocity, just as much placement. His first goal in a kicker's kit. Posted 2 assists on his kicker's debut against Tormenta a few weeks back. Now curls in a scintillating strike. Espinal, a native of Tegucigalpa in Honduras, made his name in the NJCAA ranks and went pro after just 2 years of JUCO. He's bounced around lower leagues in the United States for quite some time. And I think he's endeared himself to the Richmond faithful on the young campaign. Already 3 goal contributions in 4 league matches. What we told you, this fixture in all but one of the previous 16 matches has been defined by a goal or less. Look at the scoreline and tell me how this will finish. Madison does not win a corner from that, to the chagrin of Nico Brown. Well, if you've just blanked and turned the game back on, Gebhard doubling the lead in the 48th. Just 2 minutes later, Darwin Espinal with an unbelievable finish. A curler that sent the Red Army into full celebrations. And 2-1. Espinal entered today, tied for the league lead in assists. You see him cut inside and flash the prowess of that right boot. This sets the stage for a thrilling final 38 minutes and change. Garnett spraying it forward. Another foray forward for Richmond. Falls for Espinal! Nearly had another spectacular in his locker. Well, fans, welcome to the 2025 USL Kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for all of the action on ESPN and CBS Sports platforms. Well, on ESPN Plus tonight, we have a fun one brewing in the Henny Derby. 2-1 Madison. Darwin Espinal providing the lifeline of all lifeline moments ago. Espinal. And here's Boyce. Has numbers and support as well. Well, historically, these matches have been quite low scoring. 2-1 last year was a pretty sizable goal-scoring output in the Henny Derby. This feels like it might have another in it one way or another. It's just a question of who can provide it. Macias. Sosa. And back for Aiden Macias. Flashing ball in. Cleared only as far as Kroll. A rare bout of possession from the Mingos tonight. Sosa's offside. Fitch. Receives the return ball. Good cross in. Nearly found O'Dwyer. Falls for Schenfeld now. Had plenty of whip to it. Not on target though. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Just over 56 minutes gone. from Richmond, Virginia. And in the first of 3 Henny Derby matches this year, it is 2-1 to Forward Madison. Derek Gebhard bagging a brace on either side of halftime. But moments ago, Darwin Espinal responding. Boyce now laying this off. Here's Brown. Kroll. Good looking cross towards Gebhard. And this timed his jump, it appeared. Macias. Macias in space. Falls for Dietrich. Madison's been able to pop up in the half spaces and cause Richmond danger, especially in transition moments. And now Clyde Chella is prone on the pitch after taking a whack on one of those long-range efforts. Well, you wonder what's going through his mind. After 2, maybe he wondered if that was the conclusion of things. But there has been a promising response as you see Chella bashed by the effort from Macias and may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. Well, they seem encouraged by the response. The spirits don't appear dampened at all. The River City Red Army continuing to urge their side forward. How about that, a cowboy hat in the supporter section as well. Didn't know that Richmond was cowboy country. Match remains on a knife edge. Brown. McLaughlin charging ahead. He's looking for Sosa on the far side. Now he will opt to use him. Sosa. And headed out for security by Simon Fitch. Just on the hour mark. And Madison has already procured 1 goal from a set piece. Boyce was the man to deliver that ball in. Now strolls over again. Decent delivery. It ran all the way through, but nobody to greet it. Chilaka was lingering. Schenfeld. Terzaghi overcooking it for Espinal. When I talked to both coaches this week, there were differing tones when it came to the Henny Derby. Matt Glazer was all business. He says it's about 3 points for us every week. This is still an important fixture. We understand the added stakes to it. Said for us, it's another league match and trying to put 3 points on the board. Darren Sawatsky took the opposite approach. Said it's more than just another league match. In fact, every league match in this competition is a final. Because every team knows each other so well and many of the sides so evenly matched. But he also said, especially this match, it not only means so much to the supporters, which we've already touched on that element of things, it means a ton for the players who have totally bought in to the Henny Derby as a trophy that they seek to win every year. It can buoy you to success later in the year, much like winning the Henny Derby helped Richmond climb into the playoffs a season ago. or it can demoralize you over the course of the campaign, and Richmond fans learned that the hard way 2 seasons prior in the 2023 season. Buildup seems less than thrilled with this whistle. Perhaps Gebhardt goes down a slight bit softly. Seufert. Fitch. Buildup in space. Flag staying down for now. Crunching challenge right in front of the home support. There's a layer of tension between these players now. Buildup and Brown with some extracurriculars. We see him turn away from Krull. It is a late challenge from Brown, one that Buildup is most displeased with. Perhaps he kicks out a slight bit, although it does appear within his natural realm of motion. O'Dwyer. Madison fans can expect an unyielding onslaught for the next 27 minutes and change. The last time they led 2-0 here, they eked out a 2-1 victory in August of 2023. So far, so good. If you're Matt Glazer, I'm sure he's not thrilled with the way his team has let Richmond back into the match, but for him, it's about getting everyone on the same wavelength. Remember, this Madison team still without Burn Shipman and Mitch Osmond, who are not in the 11. It's Devin Boyce's first league start after not featuring in the first league match of the year. It's a team still getting healthy from its preseason injuries. And that's why he says he feels it might take a few more weeks than normal for his side to get clicking. It is a corner in the offing here for Richmond. And this supporter section would go into a frenzy if Schenfeld can conjure something here. In-swinger, dangerous ball. Lapsley first to it. And a handball against Michael Chilaka. This is not a bad spot for a set piece. It's pretty centrally positioned as well. Seufert and Espinal once again. Saw Espinal score from just outside the box about 10 minutes ago. We know what Seufert can deliver from these positions as well. It's Espinal to take. Not his finest. Brown. Boyce. Decent return ball to Nico Brown. Always dynamic with the ball at his feet. Cross in, back post! Sosa cannot hit the target. It was a glaring chance that goes begging for Madison. What a cross this is from Nico Brown. Evades everyone, including Schenfeld, and Sosa just can't keep it down. He had the entire near post at his mercy. And you wonder how much he'll come to rue this miss. Well, Madison readying a change, as is Richmond. Juan Galindrez will replace Garrett McLaughlin up front. You also see Adrian Billhart, who's entered the action for Richmond kickers. Billhart still working his way back from a preseason injury. It's just his second league appearance after serving as one of the more dynamic wide midfielders in USL League One in 2024. Ball in towards Terzaghi! Kirkland in front and somehow cleared off the line. Schenfeld cross out of play. How about this? The substitute Kirkland nearly returning the favor for Madison. It's a flick on from Terzaghi. Kirkland's waiting, just plays it too far across the face of goal. Lapsley able to get a palm to it. Espinal brought down, another free kick for Richmond. We will get you all of the changes in a matter of moments after this set piece. What you do need to know is it's a triple change for Richmond. It's a double swap for Madison. Richmond right now with a free kick. Maxi Schenfeld standing over it. Schenfeld to take, took a deflection out of play for a Richmond corner. This match is on the verge of going completely haywire. Another in-swinger from Maxi Schenfeld, right in front of the Red Army. Too tight on the near post. Still Schenfeld. Schenfeld clattering it into the convoy of Madison defenders. We have the substitutions ready for you. Substitutions presented by Publix. It's O'Dwyer vacating for Josh Kirkland. Meanwhile, Seufert leaves for James Vaughn in a like-for-like swap. Matt Boldick exits for Adrian Billhart. Those are the three changes for Richmond. For Madison, it is Juan Galindrez for Garrett McLaughlin, two dynamic strikers swapping out for one another, and Devin Boyce vacating for Eddie Munjoma, who signed a 25-day contract with Forward Madison earlier this month after 2 seasons in USL Championship. All 5 of those changes presented by Publix. Interesting alterations. Seufert exiting for the defensive midfielder Vaughn, but conversely, as this goes out for a Madison corner, you see O'Dwyer vacate for more of a natural wide midfielder in Josh Kirkland, who impressed last week against AV Alta, mind you. So we won't see any late game heroics from last year's hero, Chandler O'Dwyer, as the substitute Munjoma to take this corner for Forward Madison. Now inside the final 20 minutes. Near post. You're back to Munjoma. Wants to take on his defender, and to no avail. Well, Juan Galindrez is one of the top goal-scoring forwards in USL League One history. He's the joint 4th all-time leading goal scorer. He replaces the 2nd all-time leading goal scorer in McLaughlin. Those two just 2 goals apart. McLaughlin with 31 in his career, Galindrez with 29. Last season scoring 7 in all comps for forward Madison. Sosa, Manjoma. Bill Hart, his first touch, and has support as well. Still with it. That should be a yellow, and it is. Cynical tackle from Jackson Dietrich, and that earns him a booking. Excellent run from Bill Hart, and it's a simple challenge from Dietrich. Knows exactly what he's doing. And he knows the yellow's coming. No real appeals from him anyways. 3rd Madison man booked, 2 of which remain on the pitch. It is Vaughn and Schenfeld over the free kick. Training ground routine this. Espinal. Back post ball. Lapsley claims. Question is, did he go out? The answer is no. Fan soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. If you use SeatGeek to get tickets to this match, you've been treated so far. A 2-1 advantage for forward Madison in the 17th edition of the Henny Derby. Derek Gebhard with a brace on either side of halftime. Moments later in the 50th minute, Darwin Espinal with a scintillating strike to bring Richmond back within a goal. And that is where we sit entering the final quarter of an hour of action from City Stadium. Richmond side that has won 2 of its opening 3 league matches, but this is a litmus test. Playing their first 3 league games against teams they were expected to beat with the exception of Charlotte. Madison is just looking to get points on the board tonight after falling at Naples 2 weeks ago. Gebhard. He is in line to be the Mingo's hero this evening. And now strolling away from his defender with plenty of pink in support. Gebhard cuts it back. Munjoma ran out of real estate. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Macias plays it forward to Munjoma, and Sneddon is off his line quickly to claim. This game is being played at a breakneck pace, especially in the second half. And the fresh legs have only contributed to that. It's very impressive. Richmond played 3 matches in 8 days over the course of last week and change. Had a week off to recuperate. Darren Sawatsky said he gave them time to break. You don't seem to see any effects of those tired legs here tonight. This is Kirkland, the substitute. Richmond still desperately searching for that elusive equalizer. Kirkland had the best of the chances since Espinal's goal. So far, Wallace Lapsley and company holding strong at the back. Hearing word, Madison readying one more change. John Murphy Jr. getting set to enter the fray. Brown comes loose to Billhart. Last season's difference maker, looking to make an impact on this one. Espinal plays it forward. It was the late touch from the Madison center back, which prevented it from reaching the ever-dangerous Terzaghi. We are slowly reaching a more composed pace. Not nearly as frenetic as it was 5 minutes ago. Hearing word Espinal's night is about to come to a conclusion. Hayden Anderson is getting set to enter for Richmond. Billhart. Fitch was sent sliding. Billhart winning it back. And still Adrian Billhart goes down in the area. Loud appeals from the officials. The follow-up from Billhart is saved by Lapsley. Credit to him for sticking with it. And the shot came out of thin air, it seemed. Adrian Billhart just doing it all by himself. Cheeky nutmeg on one. Then gets back up, manages to bash it at Lapsley, who somehow prevents it from going out of play. We approach the final 10 minutes. Adrian Billhart continues to threaten for the Kickers. Schenfeld. Espinal, this could be his final involvement. One back, Munjoma. Has Sosa to his right. Faraday Sosa. Chella first to it. Crafty from Espinal. Bashing it ahead towards Kirkland. Macias. Former QPR Academy product, spent 7 years with Queens Park Rangers, excuse me. Well, we're now hearing word Darwin Espinal will remain on the pitch. Maxi Schenfeld is set to exit for Hayden Anderson. So caution to the wind now if you're Darren Sawatsky. And that change will take place momentarily. So Anderson in for Schenfeld and a change of plans. Anderson has experience playing wing back and full back during last season with Greenville Triumph. So it's him and Espinal on that left flank. Meanwhile, John Murphy Jr. will replace Jackson Dietrich, who is on a yellow card in a like-for-like change. Both those changes presented by Publix. It's Murphy for Dietrich. It is Anderson for Schenfeld. Anderson last season with Greenville Triumph, spending his rookie year in USL League One, and impressed with some of his runs forward, out of position with Greenville. Has played the bulk of this year as a wide midfielder, though, which is more of his natural spot. Inside the final 10 minutes from City Stadium, the 17th edition of the Henny Derby remains up for grabs, with Madison clinging to a narrow advantage. As of now, it is Derek Gebhardt's brace which separates the two sides. Munjoma, Gebhardt. Excellent sliding challenge, that. And here is Anderson, a bundle of energy. Kirkland has numbers in support, just beyond the reach of Terzaghi. Billhart. Fitch. Espinal. Gebhardt. Madison continuing to absorb the pressure with aplomb, but it is unrelenting from Richmond. Over 4,500 in attendance tonight for the Henny Derby. Once again, another packed environment at City Stadium, one of the historic venues in the River City. It's delivered again tonight. Anderson. Kirkland. Plenty of room to cross. Perhaps caught between two minds. Floated ball towards Kirkland now. Anderson again. Espinal. And still Darwin Espinal! Corner on the way. Darren Sawatsky appears to have made the right move to leave him on, despite the fact that he is visibly laboring. His creativity has thrown Madison's defense off kilter. Vaughan to take, a former non-league man in England. In swing, back post. Falls for Billhart! Narrowly whistling it wide. What a moment that would have been. It ran all the way through, and it just gets escorted back to Adrian Billhart, who has a pop on the half volley. He caught it pretty sweetly, just beyond that far post. Fitch. Billhart again. It's beyond the reach of Simon Fitch. With every misplaced touch, you feel the agony of the home support, especially with Richmond attacking this way in front of the River City Red Army. If you couldn't tell how much this means to the supporters before the match, you certainly can now. It is a derby that will transpire at least 2 more times this season, including on the final day of the regular season. That fixture seems to carry considerable stakes. You wonder if perhaps the trophy would be on the line in that matchup. Fans, eFootball 2025 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Inside the final 5 minutes from City Stadium, still a narrow 2-1 advantage for forward Madison in the first edition of the 2025 Henny Derby. It is a Derek Gebhardt brace, which put Madison 2-0 in front. Darwin Espinal responding with a terrific strike about a couple minutes later. But Richmond still chasing. Richmond's had its chances. Kirkland at the back post, the most notable. Still unable to knock the door down on what was the best defense in USL League One a season ago. Team that conceded the joint least goals in the league in 2024. Just 18 goals allowed in 22 league matches. It's been breached more frequently on the young campaign here, though. Billhart. A switch of the play. Picks out Anderson. Is there a late moment of magic for Richmond? Kirkland. Two subs being readied for forward Madison. Billhart. Barnathan. Hayden Anderson again. His first taste of Henny Derby football. Floated ball, well beyond the reach of Billhart. And those two changes will take place now. For forward Madison, Christopher Garcia and Jose Carrera Garcia getting set to enter. Hearing word that Macias will be one of the men to vacate, as is Faraday Sosa. So it's Garcia, more of a natural winger, replacing Sosa, who's a wingback. So Garcia playing slightly out of position tonight. Jose Carrera Garcia, a natural midfielder, a natural center mid. He fills the void of Aiden Macias, a former all-league first-team midfielder in 2022. Played a key role in Chattanooga Red Wolves' run to the 2022 USL League One final, where they fell to South Georgia Tormenta. Has been trying to recapture that magic since, and while it has come in spurts, it has never come as consistently as it did 3 years ago. Still a terrific presence in midfield, though, and you see him win it back here. Anderson. Terzaghi. Espinal. Richmond's lone goal scorer tonight. We are in the final minute of the initial 90. All eyes will be turned on the fourth official in a matter of moments. High ball in. It was towards Terzaghi. Simply a throw. Nope, it is a corner for Richmond. And that explains the loud roar from the Red Army. Taken short. Anderson. Decent ball towards Kirkland. Cleared only as far as Billhart. You see the stoppage time presented by Waiaki Yerba Mate is 5 minutes. It's rapidly waning on Richmond, but a lifeline in the form of the number on the fourth official's board. Lapsley has been booked for time wasting. You wonder if the referee lets this run a bit beyond 5 minutes now, because he's effectively wasted about 45 seconds. Well, the gamesmanship runs strong with Wallace Lapsley. And now he's finally ready. There was a man down as well, so he's not the sole reason for the minute that ran off the clock. If Madison can see this out, it would be a spirited performance. 2 goals away from home, both of which you could argue came against the grain, despite spells of strong possessional buildup by forward Madison. And then weathering this late storm by Richmond. A number of really promising spells going forward, unraveling at the last minute. And now Jose Carrera Garcia latches onto this. Just left it loose. Murphy sent tumbling. And may be dealing with the after effects of that coming together, it seems. What a match this has been. You see Carrera Garcia, yeah, Terzaghi left the boot dangling. It certainly is a foul. That high up may be lucky to get off scot-free card-wise. Brown wins it back. Nico Brown from afar. Can't trouble Sneddon. Just 2 minutes remain of our added 5. Issues clearing now for Sneddon. Garcia keeping it in play. Munjoma. Quick turn. Murphy laying it back across. Excellent stop from Sneddon. Denying Galindrez. This appeared to be the golden moment. Excellent ball from Murphy. You see Galindrez juke his defender out of his boots. Sneddon equal to it despite impaired vision. And it may become a game of keep away at the corner flag now. This time Richmond wins the throw. We're into the final minute of stoppage time. You wonder if the referee lets it run a bit longer for the time-wasting booking against Lapsley. Garcia was looking through to Galindrez. And a late booking against John Murphy Jr. Is there time for one final surge forward for Richmond? Billhart looking to switch it. He does so. No whistle from the official. This is Espinal. Back post ball. Nearly reached Simon Fitch. And to the chagrin of all of the Richmond fans in attendance, it's just a goal kick. And is that the final involvement going forward for Richmond? Stoppage time presented by Wayaki Yerba Mate. Was a game effort by Richmond, but it appears their comeback attempt will stall at 2-1 tonight. Brown. Terzaghi. There is time for one final break. Espinal. Billhart. Decent ball in. It was headed along by Terzaghi, and Lapsley collects. And that may just do it. We are well beyond the added 5 minutes now. And there is the full-time whistle. Forward Madison notches their first win of the league campaign in the Henny Derby, bagging 2 goals on either side of halftime through Derek Gebhard before conceding in the 50th, but they weather the storm for the final 40 minutes and earned a hard-fought victory away from home. That man, Derek Gebhard, the star, a brace with goals in the 40th and the 48th, and despite Espinal's response, Madison victorious. They avenged the heartbreaking defeat at City Stadium in July, and they notched their first 3 points of the campaign. Well, for Richmond, our man of the match, presented by Los Abogados RVA, is Darwin Espinal, whose banger gave Richmond a lifeline in the final 40 minutes. He had a number of promising chances later on, and this was the pièce de la résistance. Play of the match presented by Courtyard Marriott. This banger from Darwin Espinal. He cuts inside on his right foot. A little bit of curl to it, but plenty of ferocity behind it as well. No chance for Lapsley, and that gave them a lifeline tonight. Well, it finishes after 90 minutes. Madison 2, Richmond 1. We will step aside here on ESPN Plus when we return to look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired here at City Stadium.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with a provider today.
We choose Impossible Pups because of their enrichment activities and the fun photos they send home every day.
We choose Impossible Pups because Kendall is excited when I drop her off and she's excited when I pick her up.
My favorite part about working at Impossible Pups is that the staff here feels like family.
Is seeing new dogs come in and build long-lasting confidence.
At Impossible Pups, your dog isn't just staying at a kennel, they're staying at their home away from home.
We welcome you back to Richmond, Virginia, where the first leg of the Henny Derby finishes with a Forward Madison victory. Their first 3 points of the season comes via a 2-1 road triumph at City Stadium. We take a look at the full-time highlights, a number of standout moments for what was one of the more thrilling Henny Derbies in recent memory. We pick things up in the 22nd minute. Forward Madison breaking forward. McLaughlin denied at the near post. James Sneddon keeping Richmond level for the time being. Richmond did well to force him wide. It was a tough effort, but then 18 minutes later, the breakthrough off of a corner. Ball runs through, and in the ensuing effort, after a series of McLaughlin chances, Derek Gebhard pounces for his first of the day, bashes it bar down, an industrious finish for the longtime Mingo in his 5th season, providing the opener for Forward Madison. And then he doubled it in the 48th. After Richmond surged forward, they're caught on the counter. Tight angle finish inside of the right boot. An excellent finish from Gebhard, who tucks it into the bottom right corner. We wondered, is that all she wrote? Well, Darwin Espinal ensured that there was a chance for Richmond 2 minutes later. Cut inside, banging it on his right foot, curling it past Lapsley, and that gave Richmond a semblance of hope. They continue to push on after that, a number of chances throughout the final 40 minutes. In the 69th, the most glaring of them, as we see this taken off. Adrian Billhart eventually got his hands to it. First the flick on, and then Kirkland got a touch to it. It's denied off the goal line, and Richmond's best chance goes begging after Terzagi's flick on nearly gifted Josh Kirkland the equalizer. You get a look at the full-time stats. it does tell the bulk of the story. Richmond on the front foot, especially in the second half after falling behind. They outshoot Madison 19-14, but only one more shot on goal. And despite the possessional edge, unable to turn that into an equalizer and a potential winner. A match with a promising performance will finish in disappointment for Richmond in the first of 3 Henny Derby clashes here in 2025. Well, that will do it for our coverage of the first Henny Derby of 2025. Forward Madison goes away from home and notches a 2-1 victory at City Stadium. Richmond dropping points at home for the first time in league play this year. Forward Madison notches their first 3 points of 2025. For Sam Goldfarb, we say so long from City Stadium. It finishes Madison 2, Richmond 1. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.